It is a mistake to believe that the lower interest rates and the debt service payments are the only consideration. I started investing at an early age, and I was rebellious and wanted to do it my way and bring it down. And they're using the mechanics of the markets. They're squeezing the shorts, and rebellion, if it's not destructive, if it's not antagonistic, is part of an evolutionary process. Of course, it raises questions about liquidity and information and legal questions. But they're beginning to understand the mechanics of the market, and those who are being squeezed are beginning to understand the mechanics. What concerns me more is the general anger and almost hate, and the view of bringing people down that's now pervasive in almost all aspects of the country. When we're dealing with different values of some on the left that are extreme, some on the right on the extreme, and there's hate, when the causes that people are behind are more important than the system is in jeopardy. And so that general desire to hurt each other and the issues that we face that have to be resolved but are not easily resolved more generally is of concern to me. Liquidity problems, come and go, and then there's the mechanics. There's a certain speed of trading. There's certain algorithms that have trading that have these effects and can create dislocations. They've been with us, and they exist, but it's part of an evolutionary system in which you find problems and then you rectify them and deal with them. What I'm really concerned about is that 2008 represented what we have as a worse situation than 2008 now regarding the finances. So if you look at history and repeat over periods of time, there is the creation of money and debt to get buying power. But that is being produced by central banks that print that money because they can't finance the debt any other way. And that particular dynamic and the extension of it, which is repeated out in time, that if you like, I'll explain a little bit more of, that is the big concern. So there's a lot of money sloshing around, but if you think about it, the wave of financial assets, and we talk bonds and debt as alike, is believed to be, it gives buying power, but it's also believed to be that one could sell one's bonds and assets and buy goods and services with that. But the amount that exists out there that are claims is far greater than would be allowed to happen. So there's a financial situation which is deeply of concern to me. And to some extent, it provides the liquidity for some of these things to happen. But the things that are happening here, other than being reflective of the liquidity, are really just part of this bigger problem, I think. There's not enough financial resources and money to go around. And so I understand the needs for that kind of spending and the actions that have been taken so far in terms of that kind of stimulus. But it is a mistake to believe that the lower interest rates and the debt service payments are the only consideration, because all those bonds, the debt is converted into a bond and has to be sold. And it has to be sold to buyers who then find it attractive enough to own it. These interest rates are minus 1% in inflation-adjusted terms, and about 1%, a little over, in actual terms. And they build a pile of those debts that the bondholders believe they can turn into buying power by selling the bonds and making that purchase. I don't mean to sound technical, but what I mean is that when you have a lot of claims of assets, they're not providing a good return. And you have the world own too many of them. It's not probably going to be able to be bought by those. That means that they will have to, the Federal Reserve will have to make up a gap, a funding gap. The upshot of this is it is in cycles. This has happened throughout history. You can go back thousands of years and you see the pattern. And that pattern is not a pattern of good finance. It risks the dollar. It risks that the possibility that won't be a good storehold of wealth, those bonds. And that's not good, sound finances. So one should not delude oneself into believing that because interest rates are low, that's not a problem. I think it'll be a problem. I think one of the most important things to consider too is that money that's going to be expended also going to be productive in terms of producing goods and services and so on in its way. I don't think we're paying enough attention to productivity either. So I'm just a mechanic looking at how the machine works. And my definition of the machine is that it's very concerning.